So the word of the Lord just came to me. Tell her the truth equals triple joy. Quadruple joy, excuse me. But it is stunningly glaring, okay? Tell her. This is mind-blowing. So tell her the LL hook up with the HR individually to add to joy perfectly. The rest of the letters all divide by 5. The truth is 120. Add the TEE to that, you get 150. So tell her the truth is 200 points perfectly, which is quadruple joy. And then if you say telling her the truth, you add another 30 points, which adds more 5s to the joy package. So the message from God to the entire human race is the joy of telling her the truth. This is the most important thing for males and anyone in relationship with a female, because the male is called to be the authority in the relationship. Okay? So I just wanted to preach that gem as it came to me. It is mind-blowing. You've got to do the math on these letters. And marvel at how mathematically perfect this is for the multiples of 5. So get the letters tell her on the table. LH 20, LR 30, TEE all divide by 5, adding 30. The letters that don't divide by 5 add to joy perfectly. This is the exact same design as the word weather, God's joy in the weather. Okay, I had a word from the Lord similar to this a long time ago. Always tell the truth, I think, is quadruple joy. These are God actually speaking to me and telling me to find the multiples of 5 in these words. So tell her the truth adds perfectly to 200. Okay, quadruple joy. It's the same value as white polyester. It is a religious law. It is the most important command that a male ever obeys 24/7 in any relationship that he ever has with a female. At any time, in any depth level in this existence. Tell her the truth. It's such a mathematical stunner. For joy, it will make you cry. Well, there you go. I'm just here to share words that come to me from the Lord as I wait in silence doing so. Okay, I get a word come to me and I preach on it. Okay. It's all spiritual, man. And once you know that English letters are perfect, English words are perfect, designed by God from the foundation of the world, from before the foundation of the world. The truth is that English words and their exact spelling and all of its grammar is as old as God himself. From eternity past, this language was perfect. And you need to learn how to speak it and how to speak it well. And you need to hear God's personal voice, and you need to deliver the message from God to others, your wife. You have no hope of a proper male-led marriage with a woman if you do not know the personal voice of God like crazy. You need to know it like crazy. You need to hear it all day long. And you need to be able to prove it to everyone in the universe that you know it by sharing the math on it. I am here to tell you that marriages and relationships between a man and a woman can experience more pleasure and more ecstasy and more joy than anyone has ever experienced when they ascend to the highest levels of hearing God's personal voice and delivering that voice from male to female all the time. When a woman hears a man speak the exact truth from the personal voice of God through the man to her at all times, it is like literal ecstasy to her soul. It is literally a fountain of water that comes pouring into her spirit that she delights in like crazy and makes her leap for joy on the inside. Women are made to hear the voice of God coming through a male. They love it, They thirst for it. It actually delights their soul. It is the very mimicking of the eternal Godhead himself, where God the Father speaks words to Jesus Christ the Son, and he delights in those words. That is exactly what God does, okay, in the male-female design. The male is God's expression of the Father. The female is God's expression of Jesus the Son. And the Father delights in hearing the personal voice. Jesus delights in hearing the personal voice of the Father and speaking it, okay? Just like the female delights in hearing the true personal voice of the male. So there's this divine, sacred, satisfying flow. The male hears the personal voice of God, okay? And then he speaks that personal word from God to his wife, or perhaps he has just anyone, okay? It could be anyone in this world that he's talking to, and it will bring satisfaction and pleasure to the recipient. There you go. Welcome to more encouragement for everyone to pursue the personal voice of God like crazy. So how does it come to you? Very simple. You get silent, you shut your mouth, close your eyes, lie still, and wait for God to put a word in your head. He leads me to do the math, okay, on the words that he puts in my head, and get the full flavor of what the message is and what I should say about the message. And then if I feel compelled in my spirit to record the message on video, then that is what happens. So that this can be a blessing to future people. But man, once you remember, God's design in the truth is identical to the ecstasy, the pleasure, the treasure, okay? The cocoa, and all these famous strings that complete fives when you put the in front, like the Son of Man, the Word of God, and all these ecstasy strings. There is divine ecstasy when a man of God, let's say you are a married man, let's say you are the husband, and you are a man of God, and you hear God's voice accurately all the time. There is literal divine joy ecstasy when you, as the man of God, deliver the exact voice of God to your wife at all times. She is literally like this gleeful ecstasy bomb recipient of the finest nectar and satisfying verbiage and water that her soul can receive for a lifetime. And it is a spiritual thing. It is a soul delight thing. It is a water receiving thing that makes her so happy, she can barely describe the spiritual feelings of it, okay? So this is a precious word from the Lord. Tell her the truth. Do the math on those letters. Squeeze all the fives out of it, as you should. The message from the Lord is the joy of telling her the truth, okay? And it is a joy. It is like, It's like pure ecstasy, man. It's pure ecstasy to hear the voice of God, speak the voice of God, and there's a particular ecstatic design for a female to receive that personal voice of God through the man of God. It's pure ecstasy for her soul, her brain, for a lifetime. Okay, so I'm calling all men to get in on this like never before. I'm believing that this is going to be a prophetic message, that marriages in the future are going to be absolutely on fire with this kind of experience. What hot verbiage. Oh yeah, once you know that English is technically infinite years old, accordance with the foredesign of God, you take this language very seriously, and you take the hearing of God's voice extremely seriously, and you appreciate every word that comes to you seriously, and the education of your children in English is extremely serious. Your wife's appreciation of every word and love note that you give to her is extremely ecstatic. Women are called to be the joy of the world, as all humans are, but women are called to appreciate, okay, and delight in that which they receive from their man. They should be the most responsive, delightful, ecstatic recipients of all time. Okay, God delights in people who appreciate and respond satisfyingly to whatever He gives them. Done. And this applies very much to the male-female relationship. It applies to all of us. The more pleasingly we react to the reception of something, whether from God directly or through people, the more pleasurable the entire experience is. Amazing. All right. Well, more to come.